Okay, hey guys, I'm gonna do a video on Chuck's lesson. I think like the first probably 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, is just lunging him. I groomed him beforehand. We were trying to get our camera working, but it wasn't exactly working the best that day. We ran out of batteries, so they made to go in and get the laptop. But, I don't know if you can hear any of what I'm saying. But he hasn't been worked in a very long time, so he's doing amazing for like how long it's been. He hasn't been worked since November. We just don't have very much time to work him, but now that it's getting warmer out and our yard isn't full of 3-foot snowdrifts, there's a lot more room to work and time to do stuff. But yeah, this is only his second day of being worked. He's pretty. Our horses walk around a lot, so they don't really get, I guess one of our mares do, but they don't get extremely fat in winter, so he's in decent shape. He likes to run, I will say that. He doesn't care. But unless you're riding him, then he doesn't ever want to run. But you lunge him, he likes to go fast. Or if you're just playing with him, he don't care. But anyway, in this video, I'm doing lunging. I haven't been able to ride him lately because my mom hasn't been home she likes to be home when I ride, just in case something happens. And I don't have a helmet right now, so yeah, no riding until I get a new one. I could use my really old one. But, yeah, same thing with my mom. But no, when we got him, I'm still working on getting him to walk, and he's doing really good at it. He doesn't go as good clockwise as he does counterclockwise. So he'll usually walk pretty good. Like I think right here, I ask him to pick up a trot. I click at him and keep it. Yep, right there. He's really verbal. Like if you want him to pick up the next gate, you can go completely off voice. You don't have to use a whip at all, hardly, if you're lunging him. But, no, we've been working on the walking. We got him from an auction. So he wasn't the best trained horse, but he's one of the better horses that we have. I guess we have a nice special bond. He doesn't really like anybody else. He misbehaves for anybody else who tries to work with him, so he's special. We've been working on getting him walking instead of... He's slowly starting to get it. And right here, like I said, he doesn't like to work clockwise, so I just keep him in, walking. I don't know what my sister's doing with her hand right there, I'm sorry. My sister's not the very best videotaper, by the way, just saying. But yeah, he's not very good going to the left, so we just plan to get working slow on that. Okay, so I think our lunging's almost done here. We'll be done here in a minute or two, I think. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, not too long. This video kind of skips around between stuff. I edited it out, so it could get a total like an hour working. It was not working, but up to this day, we just kind of did random stuff. The only thing he really spooks at is deer. But it's nice to have your horse used to different things. But, okay, here we go at the next clip. I'm teaching how to make your horse give hugs. So, I don't know if you can hear what I'm saying in the video. I'm hoping not, because I didn't really plan out what I was saying. He looked at the cars over there. Our farrier just drove by when I waved. But, I have... Yeah, like I said in the video, he's an expert at anything that involves treats. Like, he loved learning this trick. But show him that you have a treat, and like give him one just so they know you have things. Now he's gonna start searching my pockets for him. So you gotta let him know that you have a treat in your hand. He kind of thinks that I have one, then he realizes, uh oh, nope, she don't have a treat. So then I grab one. He hasn't done this in a while. But then you stand by their shoulder and tell them hug, and we'll bring the treat back so they try to eat it. And you can also put your hand on the side of their face too. But when you're teaching this trick, when you first start teaching it, you don't want to give them the treat right when you pull your hand back. Because otherwise then they tend to not want to put their head back, so you're kind of stuck between their neck. So you always want to, not always, after they know what they're supposed to do, but when you're first starting out, you want to make them move their head back before you give them the treat. And I have my sister video it from the side so you can see what it looks like. They'll wrap their neck around you. And see, after a while, they'll learn to just put their head back normally. Okay, right. Okay, here I was just running around with him. We think he used to be a halter horse. He's really lovely. Mine and his step match pretty good. I'm not a very fast runner. But yeah. He's a good boy when it comes to halter stuff. Sometimes he'll lope alongside you if he's feeling up to it. That's why I'll fire the paint mare. But yeah, went around the tree. And then this next clip, I was just walking. My horses are mostly just trail horses. And some trails, they don't ever move branches and stuff out of the way. And I'm really too lazy to get off. My horses know how to walk through trees. So our stepdad, he used to cut down a lot of trees, so I'd just walk them through there. And then, like I said, we were just doing random stuff and playing around this night. And I took a big log stick thing and put it on his back. And this one fell off, and then I grabbed another one. Yeah, that's where it fell off. And then I turned around and grabbed another one. But yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not really planning any of this. I'm just rambling along. And then I walked back over. I found a different stick. A Y shape. Fit over him. I don't know if you can see it. It's just put weird stuff on their back.
Spookless, unless there's a deer. See, there's the stick.
I just goof around with him, and he's used to me being stupid. He's always wondering what I'm doing to him, torture him. My method, some people say I'm mean to my horses. I'm like, oh yes, because putting a stick on your horse is torturing it. Definitely. Right here, my sister came over, and then I walked. This isn't a very big pile of trees, this is just a small little thing. These are just a whole bunch of branches laid down together. We used to have, like, I wonder if we still have it in our yard. I don't know. It's not in our actual pasture. But in our yard, we have an area where we had cut down an old tree, and it's really good for making them pick up their feet to walk through. So, yeah, this video is a half-hour long, but his actual whole entire training session was probably 45 minutes to an hour. Oh, I don't know where we're going next. Okay, we went for a little walk back, and I just did some I call it short lunging. Basically, this lead rope's probably about 3 foot, and I just used my hands a little cue, body language, and a lead rope. I was waiting for Veronica to come over with the camera. And then we walk off to go mess around. Wildfire. She's a pretty girl. She's got an attitude, though. Extremely buddy sour. Took her away from her buddies. Put a saddle on her and just led her around the yard. She was doing good. Put 2 little kids on her. She was doing good. Not even 10 minutes. She was out and away from her buddies. Put my little brother on her. She reared up and lifted my dad off the ground. So, yeah, she's got a very big attitude problem. When we were at Brushy, settling her up, and she kicked out at my dad. So, Yeah, once you get it out on the trail, she's good. But like if you try to ride her in our yard or at home, good luck. I was just walking around right here through some more things. Found some PVC pipe just laying around. We have so much stuff in our yard. It's even funny. I just let him sniff it, see what it is. I rubbed it, put it over his back. There's a string connecting him, so I just kind of put it on there, but flop around his back. You can see he usually has one ear back listening to it. He never really spooks, but he's always curious about what's going on. And by the way, for those of you who don't know why his mane is so short, it's because we roached it all off. Probably about October, November, somewhere in there. Because some of his mane was like 4 inches long, and in the other parts of his mane he had completely rubbed so much that it was like straight down to the skin. There was like no hair growing at all. So we just roached it all off. My little yearling, not for long colt has an amazing mane but a really short tail. My gelding has an amazing tail and a really short mane. Need to combine them. But then we just started walking along this little path that we have in our pasture. Well, it's actually, we have 2 pastures, a small pasture that we use for feeding, and a big pasture that they use for grazing mostly during the summer, so this is in the small one. And then I moved it up right behind his neck, and then I took it off, I think.
Put it right there.
Go out like 3 steps and then took it off.
Here, hold on, actually, I'm gonna take this off.
Yeah, 3 steps, took it off, threw it on the ground. And then he is not the brightest horse in the world. He thinks he's tied up right here, but he'll usually stay. He knows when I want him to stay, so he'd pretty much
Oh, I come over there too?
stand there and be like, what do you want me to do next?
I'll go from the butt.
Oh, I'm sorry people, I'm really tired. It's 12:13 at night, so I normally go to bed at like 9. Right here I was trying to move the other tree. This didn't exactly work out because I kept getting stabbed and poked. Trying to walk over it, but it was just not working. As you can see, it's a really, really, really short lead. It like barely touches the ground when I let go of it in front of him, if it's on his face. Yeah, that didn't really work walking over that. But as you can see, it's really muddy right now. Iowa. It's extremely muddy. You can see everywhere they step. It's finally drying up. We got like 60 today, so. Then I came down to a new spot. I haven't really walked down here lately. So I decided we would try walking through a new little spot. I just kind of, let's go see what's going on here. But this used to be like horrible brush fence line. You couldn't walk through here at all. It was absolutely horrible. And then we cleared this all out and made it into a pasture. So, but yeah, I told my sister to go up here so she could see instead of walking behind us and staring at our butt the whole time. But yeah, I decided to walk them through this little spot just for fun. Just for kicks and giggles. So he is really good about following through stuff. He doesn't try to get on your tail too bad. I'm sorry I keep yawning. I'm laying in bed, so I'm trying not to fall asleep while talking. I walk back around through the snow. I think it'd be really interesting to see like a horse that's lived in like Arizona his whole life, and then it comes to Iowa and steps in snow for the first time. I can imagine how bad the horse would freak. It'd be kind of comical though, I think, depending on the situation. Like if it were turned out to pasture for the first time, and they went out there and like rolled like crazy, that'd be kind of funny. And if any of you have ever experienced that, please tell me about it, because I think it'd be pretty neat to know.
What's left of it?
There's a video on YouTube where this horse was on stall rest for like 4 months. I don't know how long exactly, but it was on stall rest for a very long time. And it came out and it just absolutely freaked out when it got in the grass. So we kind of skipped some parts here. So now I just put that back on his head, start walking again. And then we walk back up the way we came. Ooh. I'm sorry, my elbow just popped. But I'm actually, when I come up here and I stand on top of the log, that's where our dog Gunner is buried. That's why there's a dog toy on it. And then there's another rock around. I don't know if you can see it in the video. But there's another rock around, and that's where our dog Wrangler is buried.
It's not gonna last very long.
But now, I've had Chuck for 2 or 3 years. I think it'll be 4 years this September. No, yeah, I think it'll be 4 years this September. Well, either way, and see right now it just kind of falls off. And I just let it. Want your horse to be used to things clanging around by his feet. So I started just rubbing him all over by his feet and stuff. First he wasn't too happy with that and kinda sidestepped, wondering what I was doing. Thought I was trying to push him over. Then I just started rubbing his belly with it.
This is belly.
And you should be able to touch your horse everywhere and anywhere. I do a little part on that here later with one of him. And I rubbed it on his face. He didn't really, he's not too keen of that either. He's tolerable, but he don't care. He just like, leave me alone. Yeah, I step up onto the, yeah, those rocks up there, and there's a tree stump right there too. The rocks are where Wrangler is buried, and the tree stumps are Gunner's buried. I don't know, you can see the dog toy. Probably not. I should look very carefully. And I just kind of tossed him over there. And then I just started messing around with him, swinging the rope,
because we get pizza tonight.
playing with him. Like I said, a lot of bonding with your horse is just going out and messing around and being out there. When I can't ride, I'm pretty much just out there grooming or just talking, feeding. Anytime you can spend with your horse is more time bonding. So then they'll get to know you better. Know when you're angry, know when you're sad, mad, happy, pleased. He can usually tell when I'm irritated with him because he'll run away. One time he was kicking the crap out of the other horses, so I started walking towards him to make him move out of the space, out of the feeding area for a little bit. And he took off like crazy. He ran full speed. And it was snowy out. He slipped and skidded about 6 or 7 feet in the snow. It was hilarious. And he came up to me and head down, ears back, like, "Mommy, help me." He's like, so sad. Okay, now
Wait, remember you have to get on horse before 9 o'clock.
I don't know what we're doing here. I think I just make him move around right here. I just mess around and make him go in circles and different things, so I think that's what this next minute or so is about. I just kind of jump around like an idiot sometimes. He's used to it. He's around some younger kids, our cousins. I think their youngest is 2, so I like him to be used to people being like loud, and so it's nice to have him do that. It's pretty nice to be able to trust a 2-year-old to walk him around in a round pen without having to stand right there. He's super gentle with little kids, so I don't have to worry about him too much. And he'll give pony rides and everything else. But no, and just making him move his feet around out of my space. I usually just use my fingers and tap his butt. he doesn't really move his head and shoulders around. I don't know what you call them. I'm tired. I can't think. But he don't move his head and shoulders very good. He's better at moving his butt.
Stretches.
And I was just trying to make him move. And then my sister's like, oh, we're going to show him stretches. And I'm like, oh, sure. Sounds like a good idea. You're about, like, a minute, I think, skips to stretches. I'm not good at time either, so. Yeah, he doesn't turn. As we are going counterclockwise, but he's stretching the right side, so. I don't know. I confuse myself all the time, so. Don't ask me what is what. Okay, so probably about 10 seconds before we switch over. But I don't do like any fancy stretches with my horse. I stretch his neck and make him bend, and that's about it. Right here, what I do is I put my neck right by his shoulder blade in the base of his neck, and I take his nose and I bend it back. It stretches the outside, and sometimes he touches the shoulder, sometimes he doesn't. If you feel they're not bending as much as they can, or they're not really trying at all, then you can grab, like, just like, yeah, see, I just pull them. But you can grab the side of their halter. Sometimes you'll have to grab the lead rope, and they'll stretch for you just because they are stiff, and sometimes they enjoy stretching. And I'm going to show you how I give my horse knees massage after workouts. Like, not really like little workouts like these, but like harder workouts. And like, I guess you saw him loping around. I guess when we were lunging him, he was loping, cantering, whatever you want to call it. But I did the same thing with the other side. And for the stretches, hold for 10 seconds is what I do. Okay, anyway, sorry I got off track. Back to the lunging thing. Oh my goodness. You want to make sure your horse is cooled down, so I usually warm him up, do some good actual harder work. I guess not really harder work, but stuff that's going to get their heart going, and then I usually slow it down for the last half of the lesson. And like right at the end, I go and trot around with him. I put a lead rope around his neck and run around with him, and then he ran away, and then we went and got that done. So yeah, that was interesting. So now, oh, okay, this part, sorry. I talk about like people like being afraid of their horses. I trust him enough where I can go down under his legs. People are like, oh, walking under your horse is dangerous. And I'm just like, if you trust your horse enough, you wouldn't be afraid to walk under their legs. And then I talk walking behind a horse. You're really safe when you're up close because they can't bring their legs out to kick you. If you're standing back there, they have 3 feet to move their legs before they can kick you. If I have a running start, I can jump farther than if I have to stand. I guess would be a good example. So I just go back here and I talk about grooming their tail a little bit, I believe. You gotta check. But yeah, I think. Just walk around, be an idiot. I talk about grooming their tail. Right here. I come back, and what you want to do, like, this is a really long clip. Okay, but right here, I was talking about how the tail. I never looked this up. I said I was going to. I'll look it up later and post it. I think maybe I don't know. But horses have what is called a dock. So a horse's tail is like a dog's tail, pretty much. Well, it is the same as a dog's tail, except the hair that grows out of their tail is way longer. So if your dog's hair on its tail kept growing forever and ever, then it would look like a horse's tail. If it didn't stop growing.
But obviously it doesn't go all the way down.
I'm just messing with his tail. He's just staying. I was super happy with him. He didn't move at all. He didn't hardly take a step while I was back here. Nobody was holding him or nothing. I just start playing with his tail. Your horse shouldn't be like afraid of you messing with his tail. And I've done this so many times. When I'm with a new horse, at first I'll just come back and stroke their tail. And eventually start working with it more and more and more until they're completely fine with me touching their tail and their butt and everything else. So anyway, I just kind of grabbed this. His tail's super long. It takes 3 to 4 years to grow out one tail hair. So when you use a brush, you grab out a lot of hair. So on day-to-day things, you should just use your hands. And this is what I'm going to demonstrate right now in the video.
He should be used to, like, I can yell like this and he should care.
Yeah, alright, in the video I was yelling really loud.
Our horses are used
Because horses shouldn't be scared of loud noises.
The first time he heard it,
And I yelled, and he just kind of looked around like, what are you doing?
So, they're used to.
Okay, so what you want to do,
So
when you do the tail, you want to take little sections out. I hold his full tail in one hand, and then I use the fingers of my other hand, you can see right here, to comb through it.
Right now I'm just kind of combing through
like
this.
this.
Hanging down with my fingers.
And it really does work really well. I think I pulled out maybe 3 hairs when I combed. I didn't do all of his tail that day, but his tail really doesn't get tangled. I haven't like actually brushed his tail in maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, like gone out there and done like completely got all the tangles out. I'll usually just mess with it and make sure there's not like burrs and everything stuck in his tail if we're out there feeding. Make sure there's not burrs and stuff stuck in his tail or in his ears or halter. Well, only one of our horses wears a halter out in the pasture. So make sure you don't have burrs in their halter or anything like that. Or any place like their legs that's going to rub and irritate them or make them ornery. So yeah, make sure they're not all dirty and everything. I don't mind my horses being dirty, but I don't like it when they're excessively dirty and it's gonna harm their health if it isn't taken care of. Like if they roll in something nasty. I don't know, say they found a chemical or something and they rolled in it. I don't know. But yeah, I just pick through his hair and then you use your fingers to comb it out. Okay, so what was I doing here? I just took a brush and brushed him. He just stood there. He's a good boy when it comes to that. I just grabbed a little brush and brushed it. I talked about how my grandma had an Oster brush sitting at her house for like the past 8 years. And I was really mad because I spent a bunch of money on brushes. I didn't even know she had that brush. You can see right here, when this is a soft bristle, I usually don't like do a full grooming afterwards if they're not sweaty or anything. I'll usually either take a soft bristle or a hard bristle and just run it over him. And he's losing his winter coat really bad. So he wasn't shedding too bad, but he was extremely dusty. He took a roll earlier. Yeah, you can see all the dust coming off. As long as I'm not riding them, I'm not horribly concerned if they have a little bit of dirt on them. So, like I said, as long as it isn't going to affect their health or make them extremely uncomfortable, I usually don't worry about it. A little dirt isn't going to kill them. It's actually good when they roll around because it helps spread the oils and everything, and it helps them get itchy. I just messed around, put my thumb on the inside of his ear. Don't like jam your thumb in there and shove it down in their ear and make them like somebody shoved a Q-tip in your ear, and yeah. Just let him know that you can do that stuff. And I had, before our camera died, I tried to make a video, and I was just messing around with his teeth. I just opened up his mouth, and he's usually good about it. So right here, I start talking about you don't always have to have a halter to lead your horse and everything. So this is just me and him running around in there in our pasture. He has the option to run after the other horses, and right at the last clip he does. So yeah, this is just him running around, and he's gonna run off in like 10 seconds. But it's awesome to have a bond like this with your horse. And right here is where he runs off to be with his buddies. He goes down the ditch and goes up and then gone. Oh, you can't even see it. There we go. Bye!